It's Ken Harbaugh with Against All Enemies on the MeidasTouch Network. In state legislatures throughout the country, extremist Republicans are waging an all-out assault on reproductive rights. And many, if not most of them, are undermining these rights while saying they are doing God's work. It is truly terrifying stuff when you combine a willingness to attack basic freedoms with religious zealotry. It always ends badly. Here's the latest example, and it's bad. Listen to this Republican state rep from Missouri declare that rape and incest happen by design because, her words, God doesn't make mistakes. I talked with Dr. Amanda Weinstein about this. Our conversation is right after the clip.
Where do children come from? Who gives life?
God.
God gives life, right? That's what it all boils down to me. Does God make mistakes?
God does not make mistakes, but his creation, and I'm one of them, makes plenty of them.
Yes, we absolutely make mistakes, but God does not make mistakes. And for some reason, even in some of these very horrific cases, there was a reason that God allowed that there to be a child out of that situation. I don't talk about this a whole lot. I think I've talked about it on the floor before, but I was never able to have children. So that makes maybe life a little bit more precious to me. And, no matter what I tried, nothing worked. But what it told me was this: it wasn't me doing it. It was somebody else. And so I just wanted to make the point, and I thought it was really important that females on the other side of the coin spoke on this. And so, but I wanted to use you kind of to bounce some things off of, because I knew you were kind of down the same line as I was. But I just want us to think about that. And one of the other senators was talking about God and religion a lot, but I just wanted to bring out the point that, God is perfect. God does not make mistakes. And for some reason, he allows that to happen. Bad things happen. I'm not going to be able to support the amendments because I am very pro-life, regardless of what anyone might think. But it is very important to me.
So, Amanda, we just heard that clip from the Missouri State House of a Republican representative saying that even when it comes to rape and incest, God doesn't make mistakes. Can you talk about the legislation she's referring to in general, this wave that is running through Republican-dominated state houses across the country to turn the clock back on reproductive rights for women?
Yeah, so when we look at abortion bans and when we look at complete abortion bans, they don't have exceptions for rape or incest. And this is something that most Americans think we should have an exception for. Now, one thing I've noticed is that when you say the word exception, it makes you think it's rare and doesn't happen very much. But a new report is actually out that this is way more common than we think. And there are a lot of pregnancies that occur from rape and incest in states that have complete abortion bans, which means there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of women forced to carry their rapist baby in America.
I don't want to pick on this representative too much because I can tell that she is being sincere, but the imposition of her religious beliefs on everyone else with the justification that she cares about life maybe more than the rest of us because she wasn't able to have children. The arrogance of the pro-life, I don't even want to call it pro-life, but the arrogance of the zealotry on that side is still shocking to me.
Oh, it's very Handmaid's Tale, right? I couldn't have a child, so you should be forced to have a child for me or for other people, right? This is very Handmaid's Tale. But I will also say, I don't agree with where she's coming from, right? I swore to defend this Constitution, as you did one day. And that means defending people's right to have their own religion, right? Freedom of religion means that you get the freedom to your religion. It doesn't mean you're free to impose your religious beliefs on others, right? So I don't agree with her, but I do understand. I am from a very conservative, pro-life household. That's where I was raised. And I understand where she's coming from in this. But here's the issue. Our Constitution doesn't allow for you to force this on other people. It just simply doesn't, right? the other issue with this is they seem to always be asking women to pay and sacrifice for the sins of men, right? That's just not the way that majority of the Bible really works, right? It's the sinner who should pay for their sins, right? We should not be forcing women to pay for the sins of men.
Hi, everyone. I want to give a big shout out to all those who have signed up to support this show through my Patreon page. We are off to a fantastic start. Thank you for making it possible. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll consider it. In the coming months, I'll be posting early and exclusive content, including a trailer for the Against All Enemies documentary film, which has been racking up awards at film festivals around the world and will soon be released here in the US. Stand by for more details on that. And if you're a subscriber to my Patreon page, be on the lookout for an early preview. Thanks again, everyone. If someone would have told me that there are science-backed ingredients that could help me feel years younger in a matter of months, I wouldn't have believed it. Then I tried Qualia Senolytic. As we age, everyone accumulates senescent cells in their body. Senescent cells cause symptoms of aging such as aches and pains, slow workout recoveries, sluggish mental and physical energy associated with that middle age feeling. Also known as zombie cells, these are old and worn out cells and not serving a useful function for our health anymore, but they are taking up space and nutrients from our healthy cells. Qualia Senolytic removes those worn out senescent cells to allow the rest to thrive. Take it just 2 days a month. The formula is non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, and the ingredients are meant to complement one another, factoring in the combined effect of all ingredients together. Qualia Senolytics has a 100-day money-back guarantee. Since taking it, I have higher energy levels, feel years younger and more productive, not to mention fewer aches and pains. Resist aging at the cellular level. Try Qualia Senolytic. Go to neurohacker.com/boats for up to $100 off and use code BOATS at checkout for an additional 15% off. That's neurohacker.com/boats for an extra 15% off your purchase. Thanks to Neurohacker for sponsoring today's video. I'm going to roll this clip during the last campaign of then candidate Trump, talking about the need for women who seek abortions to be punished. Here's the clip.
What do you say about your church? They're very, very strong.
They're allowed to, but the churches make their moral judgments. But you running for president of the United States will be chief executive of the United States. Do you believe believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
10 cents, 10 years.
I don't know. That I don't know. That
Why
I don't
not?
know. I don't know.
You take positions and everything else.
I do take positions and everything else. It's a very complicated position.
So this speaks exactly to what you're talking about. The women are bearing the burden for the crimes of others. The former president himself says they need to be punished. I think Americans need to be reminded between now and November of 2024 what's at stake and what the Republican Party truly believes.
I mean, I think that we think that this is a women's issue, right? I also understand that perspective, although I do not agree, where if we are giving government the freedoms that we have, if we are handing over our freedoms to the government to impose what it wants on us, to force us to carry a pregnancy we do not want to carry, to force us to carry a pregnancy of a rapist, of someone who is a criminal, of someone who is a sinner, right? That really opens up the doors for what government can force every American to do. It is a dangerous precedent, not just for women, but for all Americans. And this is what they want to do. This is what they are doing. We have heard legislators in Ohio and elsewhere saying next they're coming for birth control, right? It seems very extreme and outlandish until you actually hear Republican legislators saying that's exactly what we're doing next, right? It is about forcing women to do these things. And the amazing part is the science doesn't fit. Women are only fertile a couple days, if that, a month. Men are fertile every day of the month, right? So if we really want to address this issue, you're going to have to start legislating men. Women aren't the issue.
Fortunately, at least in this case, there has been a ton of backlash. And if you listen to that original audio clip and your heart sank, go read some of the Twitter or X commentary, because I think
so
it's so good. I mean, just one example, if God doesn't make mistakes, then why are they so concerned about LGBTQ people? I mean, the hypocrisy.
Exactly. Oh man, that was what I did. Exactly. If God doesn't make mistakes, then there's a reason we have gay people. They should be here on this earth with us. Same with trans, but they don't apply it to that. It's very selective, the things that they're pro-life for. And oh, by the way, the states that have complete abortion bans, the states that don't allow for these exceptions of very common events of rape, they have higher maternal mortality rates. Women are more likely to die in those states. That ain't pro-life.
Yeah. And then there's this one, which speaks to something that you have articulated again and again. This is not a Christian nation. It's a nation in which you are free to be a Christian.
Absolutely. People really struggle with this, that freedom of religion ends at someone else, right? Your freedom of religion is your freedom. It is not your freedom to impose on other people, because that takes away someone else's freedom. And even from a religious perspective, we act today as if anti-abortion stances are religious. They aren't. If you look at the history of religion, I'm sorry, but the Baptist church accepted it before they didn't accept it, right? And even if I've had people argue, well, when is this being a person, right? It's a being a person when the egg and the whatever. I'm like, no, religion didn't think that for a very long time. They did not think that's when a person was a person. So to say that this is grounded in religion is grounded in your idea of religion right now.
Right. Is there a way to update the labels, the nomenclature? Because I don't think pro-life fits any longer the position of those who want to shackle women, but believe in capital punishment. Just executed a person in Alabama with basically an experimental asphyxiation device. I mean, can we get away from pro-life? As a social scientist with a PhD, is there a better way to describe it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can come up with more specific terms. I mean, they are absolutely not pro-life by any metric. I don't know how we just accepted it decades ago when they started calling themselves that, right? They are anti-abortion. They are anti-family. They are anti-woman. They are they are not really pro anything except for maybe pro tax breaks for really rich people and large corporations. I'll give them that pro. Other than that, they're basically anti everything else. Anti-abortion is one of them. They are anti-choice when it comes to choosing when and where and how we have our children.
Thanks so much, Amanda. We're going to have to wrap this one up early because, as I told you before we hit record, I got to go get my son from school, and you have your own family responsibilities. And to those who point to us and say we're anti-family, I would just submit that. Great having you as always. We'll talk again soon.
Oh, yeah, we got to do it. Like, we know how to parent. We don't need government telling us how to parent, whether it's when to have a kid or what to do with our kids. Government needs to step off.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thanks, Ken.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.